Well, hey, hi everybody. Van Tony Jane still trying to recover from testosterone poisoning. oh, um, yeah, I was going to talk about the difference between me, an intersex, bigender, androgynous, two spirit. These are words, the labels that fit me. What sets me apart and what makes me the same as other kinds of transgender people. Um, Number one, the main thing that sets a real transgender person apart is gender dysphoria, um, where the person's self-image. I'm going to read this. This is what I was going to do. Was going to read this. This is really a wonderful piece that Paula Degree, Pastor Paula. This is a Christian minister that transitioned on the job. Get that. Melissa Segbar is telling me that she's got a major fundamentalist evangelical sect on the hook about with her ministry. I'm not sure what Alina Jolie, I think, is hooked into some Unitarians or something or other. So I've been harassing the Orthodox. I haven't been harassing them. I've just been inquiring. The Reform and conservative Jews both made declarations in the last year in support of transgender equality, and as soon as when I think it was in November, at the biennial, the Reform Union did it, and then just a couple of months ago, the conservative guys did it, and when that happened, I jumped on the Kabadniks and asked the rabbi what their opinion was, and this guy was totally clueless. He said, "Yeah, I'm in favor, but I never heard of it." Yeah, it's completely clueless. He had no idea what was going on. So he was going to study it and we'd get back to him. And now I got old the mystery child in the West Bank needing to get out and get adopted by a Jewish family. Let's turn into a Jewish girl. Let's become a Jewish American princess. So I got that's really interesting. The response has been interesting, really hot. Somebody, who the hell was it? Waleed. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what's going on there. I talked about him. Could plug him and his brothers. Boy, these guys, the Mahmouds in Gaza. I got a hello from him at Monday at about coming on 6 o'clock, and it was 10 minutes. It took for me to respond, and I was, "What happened to Waleed?" He's nothing. Just want to say hello. That's kind of you. Nice to see you. How are things going for you and your fundraising efforts? Thank you very much. Things are okay. Fundraising's still going too slowly. Did you watch the last one? I honestly don't know unless I saw it now. I see a fair bit of media accounts are sharing, but I don't have time to read everything that comes through my news feeds. Aha, I'm also can't read all my news feed. There's way too much if you want to stay sane. Can I ask you some questions about transgender people in Islam that may be too difficult for you to answer? No, keep going and ask me. 20-year-old in the West Bank wants to move in with a Jewish family, convert to not only Judaism but also the female gender. What are the chances of making something like that happen? I'm waiting for a response. Right now, he's terrified. He doesn't, any kind of security breach on this, and anything happens to him, it's on me. At this point, I'm going to try and advocate for him. He still receives himself as a female trapped in a trap. He's got the female trapped in a male body thing going. And we just gotta pretty much what Spirit tells me is you gotta make a choice. And I guess there's no one right or wrong choice for any individual. I mean, that's the main thing that we gotta remember, that everybody makes their own choices. And I spoke about this last year, 2 years ago when I first came out, was that there's several choices that everybody's got. It's questions you have to ask yourself if you're transgender. It's like, first, how transgender am I? And this is a really excellent article that Paula shared that goes into all these same questions that we've been asking ourselves, talking to, late bloomers. We're learning as we go. We've been guided along by the post office before us. Everybody's always talking about people like like Christine Jorgensen and Renee Richards and Carolyn Cossie and all these pioneers. Amanda Roberts, what was her name? I don't know, Samantha Lear. There's a bunch of them. And Lynn Conway has it all compiled on her site. Lynn Conway is our science officer. That's the Lady Spock of the transgender world. And that's what I always defer to when I start rambling like this. Either, it's like, hey, if you want to see where it's really at, go to Lynn's site at the University of Michigan and read that. Because that is the most comprehensive library, transgender library in the world that I know of. And she's got all the biographies of all the significant players from the beginning. So anyway, moving right along. Basically, there's lots of different kinds of transgender. And gender dysphoria is where it's at. This is, you can be genderqueer or, cross-dressing or whatever. But for myself, this is what I am, is that I have a female psyche with a penis that drives it mad. And that's easy enough to explain. People should be able to understand that. If you have a male psyche, the idea that you'd have a vagina there would be maddening. If you have a female psyche looking at a penis, that's maddening. And that's what's going on in transgender people. And here's a really well-written article I'm going to read for you all. Paula's comment, while I wait for it to resolve. Each person's experience of gender dysphoria is unique to them. But this is a great analysis of the feeling I think we all share to some extent. That's what everybody discovers. There are certain things that everybody experiences, and then they all got their own personal twists, according to, what they are and where they're from and how their life went. So let's see, it should be resolved by now. Yeah. Okay, so what we have here is cross-dreamers. On people who dream about crossing gender lines, cross-dreaming, cross-dressing, trans, and queer issues. This was written July 21st, 2016, so this is pretty fresh. It's written by special guest writer Lisa Mullen. And the editor's note is, and it's got a picture of an apple with orange insides. It's one of them apples and oranges things. Lisa Mullen, a transgender woman, explores the nature of gender dysphoria, or that deep sense of discomfort and suffering that may come from living in a body in a social role that does not match your inner sense of self. See, this is excellent definition of gender dysphoria. Very understandable. It's like you don't feel like your body's right, and you don't feel like you're being, put in a social role that's right for you. It's uncomfortable for you to be a man or a woman the way that the society is expecting you to be. That you have a much more softer, submissive personality, but you have a penis, which is me. I don't like to be real. I like things real, laid back. I like being a guy. And I'm in Tom mode now. I'm just, trying to recover from a Tom attack. And there's a lot of bad heart being aimed at me. I've got the criminals. I got murderous pimps pissed off now. No, I don't want to talk about that here. So anyway, it is incredibly hard to explain to others what gender dysphoria actually feels like. The concepts can be so alien to an ordinary cis or non-transgender person that it would be easier to explain quantum theory. It's hard enough for trans adults to understand and explain to themselves, but even more difficult for parents trying to understand their child and work out whether they are transgender or not. Here's my attempt. Is to see this as having three dimensions that vary for every trans person. You have the physical, the behavioral, and the visual. And each can be broken down further. The physical aspects are just simplest, easier for others to understand. Basically, you miss bits you should have and don't like bits you do have. Yeah, that's about right. They just feel wrong to you. That's about right, too. It never goes away. That's true. See, now this is their first question you need to ask yourself. Do you have gender dysphoria to this extent And how severely is this feeling, how severe is this feeling of discomfort? This is the most important question right there. It's like, okay, something's wrong here. Can I live with this? Do I want to live with this? You know, these are the kinds of questions you need to answer yourself. And for myself, Spirit instructed me to just live with it, and I would be healed properly when they restored the kingdom to the planet. There was a war, and a lot of planets got hurt. And this is the home world, so it's been quarantined and yada yada. And if you don't believe me, I don't care. So anyway, what was I saying? It's just like I'm not supposed to be saying anything. I'm supposed to be doing other things. I forgot what I was talking about altogether. What my line was. I mean, I know the general topic I want to be sticking on, and I've already spoken 11 minutes, so that might be pretty much enough, and I can wrap, I guess. Oh yeah, I haven't finished. That's what I did. I got distracted from the article I was reading. Okay, this is why. It never goes away, though you can distract yourself from it, even suppress the feelings for periods of time. I do it. I just whack my weenie. I just like beat it senseless, and then go on about with whatever I was doing, forgetting that there's anything wrong. I've done it since I was a little kid. And it's the habit I'm trying to break. But Spirit's telling me, well, you don't really need to break it all the way because that's kind of natural, and you are damaged in this way. And if I'm wrong, and I'm going to get eaten by some demon or something. It can become very intense in puberty, especially for trans boys, things like breasts start growing. Well, hey, I never been. No, I don't want to go there. Here's a personal example. I didn't want my penis as a kid. Even tried to cut it off. Stopped real fast when it hurt though. Hardly broke the skin. I missed having a vagina, even though I didn't know what that was. I knew what it was pretty early and knew that there was something wrong. When I started masturbating, I was pushing my thing up inside me, trying to, okay, please. Keep feeling between my legs as a young 6 to 10 kid to see if there was there, and if it had grown in yet as I expected. The sadness I felt when I was older and knew it would not happen was intense. Behavioral aspects, I'm not going to read this whole thing because that's where it's, all the variance is. Everyone is a combination. There's a few points I wanted to hit on, but, this is like, this is all the stuff I'm not, like falsies and shit. The behavioral thing, I don't even want to go into that because I might offend somebody else. I never hardly cross-dressed because I was punished for it. My girl was always right there, and I'd whack my weenie and take a nap, seeing myself as female. And that was my cross-dreaming. When I was young, I had very vivid dreams of myself living in a cottage and being like mother of a three kids and having this handsome, wonderful man that looked like Sam, what's his name? They're talking about him now. Jolly posted, what's his name? The dude with Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott. It's like I'd do him in a heart. That's my dream lover. This guy looked kind of like that. Big heavy mustache, nice burly looking dude, but not overdone. That's Sam Elliott. That's my dream lover right there. But I don't know. I don't know because I'm damaged now. My physical body does not fit my dream body. Which I guess that get back to like the difference. This is good. This is a good place to wrap it up then. Because that gets back to the difference between someone like myself and a transsexual or a genderqueer. These people are not doing it full time. Genderqueer, some of them. They have a non. I'm going to just be whatever, kind of one or the other in the middle and not really neither. Where with myself, I'm one or the other. And I really don't like being male, which is what my sex is. And that's where it's at with me. That's what makes me transgender. Gives me gender dysphoria. And then, the break point is when you decide, okay, can I live with what I was born with, or do I got to get my genitals modified to come into congruence, to use Allie Reynolds' term, Well, I'm currently on the out with because I can't handle all that religion bashing from the atheists. I think that's bullshit. I had to cut her off. I finally couldn't take it anymore. I mean, we partied graciously, but I just finally was like, Callie, I've had enough. But to use her terms, just to keep the respect up, because she is a noted LGBT equality activist, and you know, we parted on grounds of religious and political disagreement. So you know, let's keep using her term and keep citing her, because that's what I do. I'm like, you know, community organizer, a journalist, town crier, whatever you want to call me. So anyway, that's the break is. Are you gonna, you know, is this my identity, or is this something I do to get my rocks off? That's your number one question. Is this something I want to be, or is this just something I do to escape from what I am? Yeah, that's a yeah. Let's set that one in stone. Yeah, Tommy Tudor says, or Tommy Tudor asks, that we must ask ourselves: is this what I want to? Is this what I am? Wait, let's get it. How did I get it? Well, we'll hear it when we play it again. You have to ask yourself: is this what you are, and want to be, or is this something that you do to get your rocks off? But that's not what I said. I hit it exactly right the first time, so I'll go back and get it when I go to make a meme or something out of it. So what else? Well, let's go back to here, because there was a bunch of points I wanted to hit. So this person that did the story is someone who hid it, because we're all different. We're all totally different. I hid. I knew what was up. I accepted what was up. I made my deal with God and hid until I just couldn't stand it anymore and made a new deal with God. And here's the skinny for everybody who's dealing with God. As I understand it, our instructions are that we're damaged babies because of an improper breeding that went down during the interplanetary wars. And this is the shit that was described in allegory in the ancient scriptures. And that there was a mating that some of us are supposed to, some of our spirits are supposed to be sexually dimorphic, and some of our spirits are supposed to be hermaphroditic, and they're going to come and fix it. If anybody deserves to get fixed, and that's where it's at. Now, my spirit is apparently from a hermaphroditic line, or I don't know, but I'm feeling hermaphroditic line at this point because of having lived as a man for so long and been promised a vagina. I don't think I'd rather keep it at this point, you know. I mean, it works okay. And then I have 2 sex toys. You know, that's what Carol Acosti, she tried to bring me in, but it didn't work. Because there was too much resistance from the post office, because I threatened their reality, because I'm getting people that say, okay, well, maybe I better not cut it up. But don't make what I'm saying stop you. You know, you gotta ask inside yourself. It's you. It's you. It's, you know. No, let's get back to the, you know, the transgender late bloomers manifesto. Is like you gotta. It's you. You're the only one that can decide for yourself. Just what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. And I think with that, I'm gonna let it go, because like, we're all different. Everybody's transgender. I mean, even them cross-dressers, that's a transgender behavior. So, you know, it just comes down to, like, what kind? Are you full or part-time? Well, let's be nice to each other about it. There's no reason to be antagonistic. It's it's actually, you know, self-defeating, while this lateral hostility is self-defeating. You know, embrace the cross-dressers. Tease them. You know, and the cross-dressers, you know, start, you know, they need to be a lot more polite. I've seen some mean ass drag queens talking about transgender people. We're not the same, and you know, I respect your presentation, and you got to respect us. So on that note, it's coming up on 20 minutes. That's where I'll end it. We're one or we're none. You know, we got to unify or die. There's too many people who want to commit genocide against transgender people. You know. If anybody wants to say they're transgender, don't deny them. Just say, okay, what kind of queer are you? It's like, happy day, bye.